Are you drawn to adventure with Roll and Write? What is it about? Coming up.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University. Today we're excited to share you Drawn to Adventure, a roll and write game from Final Frontier Games. Came with the Missions Cove fulfillment.
Yeah, so it's an add-on.
Kickstarter.
It is also set in the 5 realms, like many of the other Final
Frontier
Games.
Yes, with Meeple as the artist.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the overview of the game, and then we're going to share our thoughts, which just this time isn't really the same. So we'll see.
So this is a map movement style of roll and write with a dice drafting mechanic. And so each round there will be dice, and they will be rolled, and they will be drafted in a snake order. So the first player will draft first. They're the only ones who have the chance to draft this more powerful yellow die. It disappears if they take a different one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would snake around to the last player and then back to the first player, and any others are out. And then you'll use the symbols that you've drafted on your board. And ultimately, what it's all about is spreading out over the board to try to find the point scoring treasures, which are these coins, gold, and gems, as well as stars, which will let you upgrade your character. And once your character's fully upgraded, you'll be able to turn more stars into those treasures as well. So the main two things you're going to be doing out on your map is solving quests and moving. And so these quests are these little icons that match the dice icons over on the left. And you can spend one of these dice icons to complete a quest in an adjacent hex. So here you could spend this key, and you would cross out this area because you've completed the key. And then you would get the bonuses here on the right, which in this case is a potion and a free movement. And there are different bonuses throughout. Once you get to the more difficult or dangerous
area. So your movement doesn't have to go there. You can also go here, by the way, or here, if you want.
Yeah, so once you get out to these more dangerous ones, then you start getting the treasures. And these include bosses, and there are some special ones that give you like sailing movement around the map or cave movement from one side to the other. And you can also spend these dice to move. So this one here lets you move in the upward left direction. So I could spend this die to move here, or even if I were all the way down here, move the whole way. You can go the whole way. And the third thing you can do is you can bank the symbol. I could just keep this here, bank the symbol, and use it on a subsequent turn. There are side quests when you visit these village spaces, which usually take you away from the quests. You can get a side quest, which you need to complete at a certain lettered space, and then that will give you some extra bonuses. They're usually pretty strong. And you finish this map up till the point where one player has defeated 3 boss quests. And once that's happened, you play one more round, and then you move on to
Tier 2.
Tier 2. So there are 3 tiers of map in here, and you play through 3 maps in an entire game.
Yeah, sorry.
While carrying over your upgrades.
You can go to one of the 2 maps just throwing the dice, and then after 3, that's the end of the game.
Yes, and whoever's got the most, so you carry over points from one map to the other, but you reset your treasure chests, and you keep getting treasure, and whoever has the most at the end of the game is the winner.
Yeah. So we have different opinions on this game. Tarrant, do you want to go ahead first? And I will say what I think as well.
Yep. My view overall, and certainly by roll and write standards, I didn't really enjoy this game.
Mm-hmm.
I found the decisions weren't... I didn't find the decisions that interesting.
No?
Because I found I was just able to sort of sprawl over the map. I had some obvious things that were good with the upgrades for my ability.
Yep.
And you know, there's a lot of roll and writes where there's a big escalation in points. You're trying to make a specific thing happen. welcome to, you're trying to fit numbers in and you've got
Right.
to weigh the probability of that. This one, I'm just kind of wandering around and there's a lot of mitigation, so I could always kind of do most of what I was after. And there was no single action that was really, really strong to go this way. It was all kind of an accumulation.
Maybe you got lucky because I feel like I was like the mitigation was hard. I always use the potions to, as you see here on the top left, that's the mitigation. You use potions to change your dice.
I think the other couple things I add into it, it was a long game. Playing across one map I would have preferred, I think.
Right.
With like a punchier upgrade here. Playing across 3 maps, when each map was kind of the same gradual build up.
Right.
That made me lose interest by the end.
Okay.
And then I also just kind of have a preference for roll and writes that don't have that much maintenance. Like moving a meeple over a map is, to me, it shouldn't be a roll and write if you're doing that. It's sort of a board game that's been turned into a roll and write. And then there was also a lot of gaining resources and crossing them out. So there was a lot of currency, and I don't think that works very well in roll and write either.
I thought you like a flip the dice game. Isn't that similar? Where you cross this and cross that, and you enjoy it. Hadrian's Wall as well.
I do enjoy Hadrian's Wall, but I don't see it as a true roll and write for that reason. I think of it as a pen and paper.
It's a flip and write as well.
Well, it's got a card, but I think of it as a pen and paper resource management game.
Right.
And that's just because I think of I think of the bingo style where everyone's playing the same.
Right.
Same number as that's my version of a roll and write.
So if this is not sold to you as roll and write, would you have probably enjoyed it in a slightly different mechanics, maybe?
Possibly, but again, I come back to saying that I didn't find the decisions that interesting, and there was 3 maps to get through.
Interesting that you say that, because by the way, flip the dice game. Do you like that?
I don't mind it. Yeah.
Right. So this actually reminds me a little bit of. Well, not a little bit. There's not really kind of like, as you said, there's not a big engine building. One engine building that I do like is these characters. So they are different characters, which is like slight asymmetric, which they are double-sided as well, which you can use. You can choose. So this one, when you get to write it, let's say the Bard. Like Stella the Bard. Let's say that. And when you achieve certain bonus, the star bonus, you cross it off. And you try to combo it so that you get this power. Some of them cost something. And also resources at the top here. So as you unlock more things, you also unlock and possibly trying to get more of crossing the gems out of the other ones because it costs more if you can. So there's that element which I feel it is interesting. It's quite, building up to an engine building type of thing. The length of the map is maybe I wouldn't mind if it's like 2. One, I feel like our first game here, you were so efficient. I'm like, oh no, and I caught up slowly by the map 2 and map 3, which is good. I feel like it's probably good for me in a way. 2 or 3.
I think part of it was we both completely finished our upgrades by the end of either the second map or early in the third map. So it took the decision element of that out of it. It was more just a race for stars.
Right. Okay, I see. So you would like it if it would have been like a little bit harder to achieve.
Yeah, you should only be able to achieve 2 of your objectives and then use the option that combination opens for you.
But then how do you actually race to get the best gem? Anyway, I think, well, for me personally, I know this is a like a personal thing. I think decisions enough. There are time where, because you can't go to the spaces without being for the hacks being crossed out. Let's say it's this one. You started off here, and the book here. If you cross this one, you get to move somewhere. If you cross this one, you could probably like do this one, free movement there, and then you cross this one, and when you do this one, you get free movement out of this one to move across that way, which is what you thought you did, which I thought is very smart. So you want to kind of like look at another opponents as well. There's a little bit of sense of agency because some of the either give you bonus if you complete it first, or penalize you if you don't complete it first.
Yeah.
So there's that sort of element as well, which I like. I think the dice draft is good. You can see what other opponents are wanting. You can just hate draft it, possibly. And the mechanics of putting potion I really like because I give me flexibility, but yet I seems to be spending that quite a bit. If you remember our last game.
Yeah, I think you took the re-roll option a few times. You just kept rolling to try to get what you wanted, which
I don't know if it's
always
wise
a
or
risky
not.
strategy.
I know.
Whereas I had some powers that let me teleport around by spending potions, and I just used it to go and get more and more side quests.
Yeah, that's actually good. You won that last game.
Yes.
But I kind of like starting to catch up by map 2 and map 3. So will I play it again? Yes, of course. I think it is quick enough and interesting enough. I love the artwork. I like that it gives you option to bank it. If I played it again, I might have probably bank more and then try to strategize around it and then save it for the next turn. So I want to go here, for example. So I'll bank this one, I'll bank that one, and then like go ahead and do it that way, if that makes sense. So that's what we think of Drawn to Adventure. I feel like roll and write, not too complex. There's kind of like interesting decision, but not way too hard. And if you like this little sense of agency, not too much. I would probably compare it a little bit with Flip the Dice game, although I like it, you like it, I like it. I like the Flip the Dice game more, and it's not so much this.
Certainly has the same drafting sort of element going on, but then with a bit of map movement on top.
Yeah, the map movement. I don't mind the map movement. It's not too fiddly for me. So we have a little bit of different opinion, what I like about it, what Tarrant doesn't like about it. So you decide for yourself. Have you played a roll and write game similar to this? Do you still enjoy roll and write? I know that it was kind of like out, like this all of a sudden there's a lot of roll and write, and then it has died down a little bit.
Yeah, it's got another mini renaissance this year, I think. There's a few more coming back up.
Yeah. Well, I still enjoy it. There's something about roll and write. It's like you rolling and then you...
Writing.
It's true though. You're rolling and you're writing. Or you're flipping and writing. Yeah. So I think it's just the right sense of thing and then the right sense of engine building with a different character. Should you play? You decide for yourself. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. That'll be really helpful. And hit the bell. I'm also on social media, Instagram, for my board games journey. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Yes. Bye.